Does your emergency brake cable work? We're going to show you how to test it, and we're going to tell you what happens when it doesn't work. So this is part of our learning series. It goes with anybody that tows an RV.
We're trying to create these learning series because they helped us in the beginning, and nobody seems to be doing that now, and people need to learn before they go. So how did this happen? Is it my fault?
No, it's not Barb's fault, but we did discover it during our learning series, Barb Drives the RV.
Your link below.
When she turned sharper than 90 degrees, our breakaway cable actually popped out of its switch and applied the brakes like it's supposed to do. And what we found out is that our breakaway cable for a 8-foot long bed was a little bit short. It was only a 3-foot cable. And our factory cable, which is this one here, as you can see, is 5 feet long. So since then we ordered a new cable, which is 5 foot long, and it's accordion style. So it's like this.
It's much better. That other one's too long, kind of lays on the ground and worries it's going to get caught on stuff.
Yep. So that's how we discovered it.
So Bob, what is an emergency brake cable?
It's a connection between your vehicle and your RV. Most trailers that have some type of battery and brakes will have some kind of breakaway cable. What this is a connection. If your hitch or your fifth wheel hitch comes disconnected, this will pull out so far. It will disconnect this switch right here, and it will apply brakes to stop your camper. This is a typical switch right here. And this switch will have, I'll pull this switch out and you'll hear it. You'll probably hear the brakes, they'll make a noise. In here we have a master cylinder because we've got electric over hydraulic brakes. So it's telling that master cylinder apply the brakes fully because the trailer's been disconnected. If you have regular electric brakes or magnetic brakes, it will do the exact same thing. It'll apply, whether they're disc or drum, it will apply the brakes in an emergency. So what this is, up inside here, there's 2 wires that join this. You have to have your power. You got a power from your battery. So you have to have a battery to power. So it's no longer using the truck's power. And when this separates, it's got 2 contacts in there. 2 little, just like an open contactor. So what this thing does here, you got an open contactor, this slides in and it separates those 2 contacts so you can't pass 12 volts across this. What happens when this pulls out, the contactor comes together and it passes it through and it activates your brakes. Up inside of here, there's like 2 little points. This can go in only one way. It has to go up like that because the contacts will hit here and they'll slide and they'll open this up and it'll stop the brakes from going. It shuts the brakes off. One other note too, when you order this, you can get just the leash and you can get what they call the plunger like this. It'll come on it. You can order it with or without. I would recommend getting it with the plunger on it. That way you have an additional one. If you got the factory one, they normally look just like this. Talk a little bit about where you want to hook this to. You want to make sure you hook it to something that's not going to leave your truck in an emergency. So you definitely don't want to hook it to this hitch, because if the hitch is the reason it comes undone for some reason, it comes out of the bed, your camper's coming off and it's not going to hit the brakes. You want to actually hook it to something that is part of the truck. So that's where we put ours at. If you got a fifth wheel and it comes off, it's taking your tailgate off for sure, and you're going to have a bad day. But if this brake does not work, your day's going to get a lot worse for sure.
Let's just talk real quick about, so people understand. Of course, the RV hitch itself hooks into here.
Yeah.
And there's a little cord up front, chain that hooks in, and this closes in, and then from there, this connects, like you said, into the camper. Yeah,
this is your connection for your brakes, your emergency brakes, in event that this falls out of the truck.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't get jawed.
Yeah. So
and it can be a bumper pull too. A bumper pull's got the same thing. It comes off the bumper because it didn't get latched or come undone, and it will put the brakes on also. The exact same thing applies as it does in a fifth wheel. You don't impact yourself or somebody else in an accident.
And it's only attached to the truck and to the RV, and then there is an electric cord.
So if you're on a nice safe spot with your RV, you get all hooked up, whether it's a bumper pull or a fifth wheel hitch, go ahead, pull your brake cable out, put your vehicle in gear, and try to pull away. On ours, we can hear it right away. We can hear the brakes being applied. Just so you know that it works in case of an emergency, which will make a bad day even worse. You want to make sure that that is working. It can be something that can be totally preventable, because this is a very easy part to replace. It's got 2 wires, and they sell them on Amazon. And if it's not working, you want to make sure you replace it. All right, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for this replacement of this emergency brake cable. We're going to use our cutters or dikes and our strippers. I got 2 solderless crimp butt connectors, but they also seal once you heat them up. They'll shrink. And then I'm going to use shrink wrap around that, and I'll offset these a little bit so they all get inside of this shrink wrap here. And I use my little torch here to heat up the shrink wrap to make sure we got a nice weatherproof connection. First thing is we're going to remove this old one. It's got 1 bolt that holds it in place. Sometimes the camper levels, and this is really high up here right now. It's kind of low, so I'm having to duck in here to get this in here. Of course, this was an Amazon purchase. It's made by Kurt, which makes a lot of the hitches and stuff now. I had to get a seat to sit down because I can't squat anymore. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut 1 wire at a time. I'm sure the red is probably our hot, and our black is probably the return. There's no fuse involved in this, because if a fuse blew in this thing you didn't know it, it would render this thing useless. So we're going to cut this wire here. We're going to offset a little bit so our bud connectors can fit inside of our seal. So we connect these 2 together, we'll get our loop. You can hear our brakes going. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing on this. I'm going to cut these just a little short. We got these butt splices. These are easy. You heat them up and they release glue to seal them. And then we got a piece of wire wrap. And I'm going to put that, we're going to put that up in here. So it's up in here already. Nothing better than a really good butt splicer. Give those a little tug, they're good. And we'll shorten this one up just a pinch. We get these spliced and then we'll test it. We'll make sure it's all working before we do any kind of sealing. Okay, so we pull this guy. You can hear the brakes going off. Brakes back off. Now we're going to take our little torch here. We're going to get this out of the way. see it's got a little flame. We're gonna heat it up just enough to shrink this connector. Here's the one I bought on Amazon. And I'm gonna pop that one in, pop this one out, and keep this one. You pull this out, get your brakes. So it's working like it's supposed to. I am going to try to break this open and show you what it looks like inside. I'll take you over to the pitting table. We'll see if we can break this open. I'll show you how this actually operates. I'm always curious of why things failed, so I always disassemble stuff. I guess it's just the mechanic in me. See if we can get this apart. Yep, so up inside here, like I suspected, it's just like a little contact points. When this slides in, this comes up to there. It separates these two contacts. You can see that's a contact there and a contact there, and it's just spring driven. It almost looks like that thing has gotten hot and melted. It would work sometimes and sometimes it would not work, and I just didn't want to take a chance because, like we said earlier, if things are horrible and that trailer comes undone, this is your last resort to make it not so horrible, even though the trailer may get damaged or very well totaled possibly, but it will save your life and possibly somebody else's. But all this does is go in there and separate those points. It keeps those points from making contact. So when this pulls apart, it passes 12 volts from here through here to your brake controller, either your brake controller or your brakes itself. On ours, it's a hydraulic controller. If you got magnetic brakes, it's going to send it to your magnetic brakes. Apply full brakes, this is going to get full 12 volts. It's not like the variable resistor in your controller on your dash. When you set your gain, you're setting the voltage. So you're setting a little bit lower voltage so it doesn't clamp down as hard on your brakes, either through your controller or through your magnetic brakes. So one of the things with our learning series on this is when you search YouTube, you don't find a real lot of stuff about a breakaway cable, and people see it on their campers and they know what it probably does until you actually know exactly what it does do. It actually applies your brakes in an emergency.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure you understand everything.
Yeah.
You know, not just, you know, setting up and closing up, but all the little things that you need to learn to successfully survive and drive your RV around. So we hope that you like this video. Give us a thumbs up. Remember to smash up that notification bell.
Yeah.
Bob's going to want you to probably comment.
Yeah, we definitely want you to comment. Have you ever tested your emergency brake cable? It's really not ever part of anybody's checklist, and it was never really part of our checklist, but we have pulled ours apart before, just taking really sharp turns with a cable that was not long enough for a 8-foot long bed. Make sure you definitely check it.
So guys, remember, we're HetteshWorld.
Come travel in our incredible world.
Bye.